Have you ever gotten to the end of your day and wondered, what happened today? Like, maybe you did the things, you checked the boxes, you went to work, maybe you even smiled and laughed a little bit, but it didn't actually feel like you were there for it. It's like an extension of the phenomena where you're driving and you get to your destination, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, was I the one driving? I don't remember the journey to get here. But on a greater scale, because it's many of those moments adding up to an entire day, or maybe even an entire week, or an entire month, or one of my most dreaded feelings when one of your coworkers on Monday morning asks, hey, how was your weekend? And you have literally nothing to say because you don't remember what you did for your weekend. Obviously you were physically there, but mentally, emotionally, maybe you were just going through the motions. You were running on autopilot and you didn't actually stay present enough to truly enjoy your weekend and to truly know what even happened during your weekend. I know this feeling all too well because it is so familiar. It is so normal in today's society to wake up, to check our phones, to be pouring our coffee while we're reading emails, to be brushing our teeth while scrolling on TikTok, to be constantly distracted and never actually fully present to the moment in front of you. Your body is moving, you're physically there, you're doing the things, you're checking the boxes, but your mind is absent. You're not fully present. You're actually not living your life. Your life is happening. You're doing it on autopilot. You're not intentionally making choices. You're just following the same patterns and things that you've done every single day. You're living on autopilot. You're not living intentionally. And then you wonder, why do I feel so scattered? Why do I feel so disconnected? Why do I feel like I'm not really living my life? Really? Maybe because you're not, because you're just going through the motions, because you're not showing up with intentionality and mindfulness. You're just doing it. You're just surviving. Maybe you have this deep desire to thrive, but it doesn't feel like that's anywhere close to something that you could even achieve. Maybe this sounds familiar, and the only reason I can describe it so vividly is because it still happens to me pretty often, honestly. If I'm not intentional about showing up with intentionality, then it is so easy to be caught in this autopilot mode of living. And in these moments, it can feel like maybe you need to overhaul your whole life. Maybe your life just isn't the one for you. Maybe you did something wrong. Maybe you need a new job. Maybe you needed to leave your relationship. Maybe you need to move cities. There's so many things that your brain tries to tell you need to happen in order for you to finally start to actually live your life. But I'm here to tell you that if you do any of those things, but you continue to live the way that you're currently living, you're not going to see any progress. You're not going to start to thrive just because you've changed your environment. And don't get me wrong, sometimes your environment is something that's helpful, but there's a saying that says, wherever you go, there you are. If you're still showing up the same way, your life is probably going to feel very similar, even if you're in a new environment, even if you make these big drastic changes. And a lot of times you're too afraid to ever make those big drastic changes. So I want to tell you something that will hopefully give you a big sigh of relief. You don't need to change your whole life by making these big drastic life changes. You can absolutely completely transform your life just by doing one simple thing. Honestly, one simple thing. I'm saying simple. I'm not saying easy, but it's something that is so simple. And that is just adding a little bit of mindfulness. Adding a little bit of intentionality. This is the one thing that I did that absolutely transformed my life. And it's the one thing where if I slack on it and if I'm not being intentional, I feel it. And I start to go back to that place where I feel stuck, where I feel drained, where I feel like I lack any energy. And I'm sure you can relate to this. You don't need to completely overhaul your life. You just need to actually start to live it intentionally. Let me walk you through 2 different ways that your day could go, okay? So the first one is kind of how most people live today and how, honestly, our default is, I would say. We have these devices, these cell phones, that are literally an extension of ourselves. We wake up, it's the first thing that we reach for. We do all of these things. We're trying to be present with our families. We're trying to work. We're trying to do all these things, but we are constantly distracted by our cell phones, right? So you wake up, you reach for your phone. You are scrolling through your email notifications. You are letting your inbox tell you what to prioritize for that day. you are not showing up with intentionality. You go downstairs, you start to make your coffee and you're drinking it, but you're not actually tasting it. You're just drinking your coffee while you're scrolling through those emails again, while you're doing something that is not intentional. And let me just tell you, this is probably going to lead to feeling like you're very anxious. It's going to leave you feeling like you're disconnected and not present, because you're not present. Now, okay, here's another way that you could start your morning. Okay, so maybe you have a alarm clock, one of those Hatch alarm clocks, or one of the ones that like wakes you up with a sunrise. Instead of reaching for your phone, you turn off that alarm, you take a couple deep breaths, you practice some gratitude. You say, God, I'm so thankful that you woke me up again today. I am so happy that I have a happy, healthy body and that I got a great night's sleep. Then you slowly walk downstairs, you make your coffee and you ritualize it. You make it something that you're excited for. You drink your coffee and you taste all the flavors and you're present. Maybe you sit outside on your balcony and you hear the birds chirping. You feel the sunshine on your face. You're present. It's so simple. Those are two options that you have every single day. And the easier option, the more dopamine feeding choices, is reaching for your phone. It's going hurriedly into the day. It's letting your inbox decide what's a priority for you. That's the default for most of us to reach for. I want you to know that you can honestly change your life just by slowing down a little bit more and infusing just a little tiny bit of intentionality in your life. You don't need to overhaul your life. You don't need to give up your phone for good. You don't need to delete all of your social media apps. You don't need to do anything extreme like that. Even the smallest little change and just honestly setting the intention to be more intentional can change your life. So often we feel like we need to make these dramatic changes in our lives. But more often than not, if we try to do something that's too much, we end up failing. We end up getting frustrated. We end up just quitting altogether, because if we can't reach that level of perfection or that super lofty goal that we set, what's the point of even trying? I'm here to tell you that that's not the best method. That is not the best way to actually achieve a life that's worth living. So I'm going to walk you through 5 very simple ways that you can change your life today, tomorrow, the next day. Like I said before, it isn't necessarily going to be easy. Our default might be to reach for the phone, but I'm going to ask you to just pick one and see it as an experiment. Hey, if I do this one thing, can I actually change my life? Will I actually start to feel more present? Will I actually start to feel like I'm living my life more? Will I feel less stuck? Will I stop feeling like maybe I need to overhaul my entire life? That is my hope for you with these 5 super simple actions. So this first tip that I'm going to give you is not only going to be helpful for feeling more present, feeling more mindful, but it's actually also going to help you with your overall physical well-being. The first thing I want to challenge you to do is to eat your next meal totally mindfully, distraction-free. Okay, so what is this going to look like? The next meal that you have, before you sit down to eat it, you're going to take 3 deep breaths, okay? 3 times before you sit down, which this is going to help you be more present, yes, and it's also going to help you digest better. You're going to make sure your phone is far away, you can't reach it. You are going to make sure you're not reading anything, you're not trying to think about other things, you are just fully present with your meal. You go into this meal as if it's an experience, okay? So it's not just shoveling down the food because you know you need to eat and you have something else to get to. No, we're going to see this eating as an experience. You know how when people are doing fancy wine tastings, they savor every sip. They notice the different notes of things that you can feel in it. I want you to treat your next meal like that. And I want you to notice the textures. I want you to notice the different flavors. What scents are the most prominent? I want you to enjoy this experience. Eating doesn't have to just be a chore. It can be something that you're fully present to and just enjoying. And I know this sounds so simple, but it can be so hard, because how many of your meals do you eat completely distracted? Watching TV, reading a book, scrolling through Instagram, checking your inbox. It is more common to be doing those things than to actually just be sitting down and enjoying your meal. So that is the first thing I want to challenge you to do. I want you to take your next meal and make it an experience. You don't need to rush to the next thing. The slower you eat, the better you're going to digest, the more you're going to actually enjoy the experience. I want to challenge you to just do this with one meal, just one meal, and see how it feels. And if you like it, maybe add it to one meal per day. Challenge yourself to do that. It can be this simple. I promise you that making just one little switch like this can honestly change your life. Maybe that feels a little too daunting. Maybe you always eat with other people and you're constantly distracted and that just feels out of reach. Okay, I have another idea for you. Take one walk without a phone. And if that feels scary, if that feels like you're gonna be unsafe, then take your phone with you, but do not take it out of your pocket. Be fully present on this walk. Feel your feet hitting the pavement, taking those steps. Take a look around. Notice what colors you see. Notice what sounds you hear. Just be fully present. What does the weather feel like? Can you feel the sun hitting your skin? Truly make it an experience. That's what this is all about. It's just actually experiencing your life instead of just doing the things, going through the motions. It's all about experience. And again, we're multitasking here because this is also going to be very good for your physical health, but it's going to be so good for your mental health as well. So just challenge yourself to schedule in one completely distraction-free walk in the next 48 hours, let's say, okay? I know you can do this. The next one is going to be probably what a lot of people think of when you think of mindfulness or intentionality. And that would be do a meditation, do a breathwork session, do a yoga class, but do these things with intentionality. Don't just do it to check a box. Truly just set away all distractions, go into a place where it's just you or where you're gonna be able to be fully focused and feel the sensations. Be fully present. Don't let your mind wander to those other things. It's going to, of course it's going to. That's what your mind is used to. But you can truly train your brain to focus on just the task at hand, and that will infuse so much more mindfulness and so much more, honestly, life into your life. And I just want to challenge you to try it. Just do it as an experiment. See how it feels to do a 10-minute yoga class that you found on YouTube before you go to bed. See what it's like to do a 10-minute guided breathwork or meditation session. If 10 minutes feels too long, start with 5. You can start small. This can be something that's so simple. You don't have to pay for a membership for any of these things. You can find all of these resources for free on YouTube. I just want to challenge you to see what happens when you do it. See it as an experiment. It doesn't have to be something like, oh, I know this is going to change my life. No, who knows? Maybe it's not for you, but you won't know unless you try. Try one yoga class. Try one meditation, try one breathwork session, and see how it feels. See if it's for you. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But you won't know unless you try. So the next thing I want to challenge you to do that has been absolutely life-changing for me is to take 5 minutes to plan out your day. You can do this right now. Honestly, you can pause this video right now and take 5 minutes to just say, hey, here's the time that I have left in the day. What would the best version of me do with this time today? What would it look like to feel like I spent this time wisely? Mark your page with 30-minute intervals and say, okay, during this time I have a meeting. I'm gonna be working from this time to this time. But after work, I'm going to take a walk. I'm gonna do one of those activities that Jackie suggested that she says is going to change my life. I'm going to schedule in time for that. And then I'm going to eat dinner at this time. Like just planning it out, it helps eliminate a lot of that like decision fatigue that just puts you into default mode, right? You're obviously going to be more likely to reach for your phone if you don't have something scheduled. But if you instead schedule time with yourself and you treat it like it's as important as actually having an appointment with someone, you're going to be a lot more likely to do it. And it is important. This is your life we're talking about. This is like regaining control and starting to feel like you're fully present again and like you actually enjoy your life and are thriving instead of just surviving. Give it a try. All right, and my last tip is something that you can take action on right now, okay? So we all have these devices. We all have these cell phones. Maybe we don't all, but most of us. You have some sort of device that you can set an alarm on and have reminders pop up. For me, every day at 3 p.m., I have a reminder that pops up. It doesn't make any noise, nothing like that, so it's not gonna distract me. But the next time I reach for my phone, there's a notification that pops up that says, what would the best version of you do at this time? 3 o'clock is like a time for me that for some reason I just like, I don't know, I'm in that slump. I'm starting to like lose energy. I am struggling to focus at work. I probably need a walk or some sort of distraction, but instead I reach for my phone, and I probably reach for my phone with the intention to scroll, But when I see that, the best version of me isn't going to spend that 15 minutes scrolling on Instagram, because I know that's not going to actually make me feel better. It's not going to actually refresh my brain or feel like the break that I truly need. So that is what I want to challenge you to do. Pick a time or several times throughout the day to just set a reminder. Doesn't have to make noise. It doesn't have to distract you from what you're doing. But the next time that you reach for your phone, you will see that notification and you will stop the alarm and you will have to make an intentional choice. What do you want to do at that time? Maybe this can be an inspirational message or something like that. Maybe it doesn't need to be a question. Maybe it's take 3 deep breaths. That's something that you can do. Next time you look at your phone, if that alarm has gone off, hey, take 3 breaths. Make it a habit. If it's built in, it's something that's literally there to remind you to take 3 deep breaths. And remind yourself why you're doing it. Hey, I'm gonna take 3 deep breaths because I've been feeling so disconnected. I've been feeling all over the place. And I know that being more present will really help me. So it's something that you can do right now. Set a daily reminder for a certain time of the day. Maybe it's a time where you know you're more likely to be doing something like scrolling or being distracted. And instead, set an alarm that will remind you to show up as the version of yourself that you would be really proud of. Again, this is something that is so simple to do. It takes a minute, if even, to set an alarm like this, but it can absolutely change your life. You don't understand how many times I have reached for my phone, about to scroll, about to do something that is just not actually going to help propel me forward, and it's not actually going to give my brain the break that it desires. And I've seen that question saying, hey, what would the best version of yourself do? And I've been like, you know what? She would not be on her phone right now. She would go sit outside with the dog and feel the sunshine on her skin. She would go ask her husband if he wants to go for a walk and take a quick break. It's so simple, but it has absolutely changed my life. And I would be lying if I said that every single time I look at it, I make a good choice. No, but I'm much more likely to make a good choice seeing that notification and having that moment where it snaps me out of my autopilot and it helps me to choose better. So do this right now. This is just one super simple task that will take 1 minute. I'll wait. Did you do it? Okay, so you don't need to implement all 5 of these things, okay? But maybe make a list, put it on a Post-it note and stick it on the wall. And when you're feeling super disconnected, when you're feeling like you need to blow up your whole life and change everything, maybe just look at this list and pick one thing. Hey, what's one thing I can do on this list that's simple, that's easy, but that can actually try to change my life, that can actually help me feel better than I feel right now, that can actually help me live my life instead of letting life happen to me. I promise you, just infusing just the tiniest bit of intentionality and mindfulness into your life can have a massive impact, okay? And you deserve this. You deserve to have a life that lights you up. You deserve to have a life that you're fully present to and that you're fully living and being intentional and mindful with the choices that you're making. You deserve that. And I know you want that deep down. We all do. We all want to live a life that is meaningful, that's purposeful, that's full. And I want you to know that it's possible for you. And it doesn't have to require you to do something big and drastic and dramatic. All it takes is little simple actions like this. I want you to know that if you're feeling disconnected, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling like your life is just passing you by, you're not alone. You are not the only person feeling this way. In fact, I would argue that more people are feeling this way than people who are not. You're not broken. You don't need to change your entire life to feel better. It can all start with making a simple choice to be just a little bit more intentional. I've given you 5 suggestions for simple tasks that you can do, and I just encourage you to test one of them out. Maybe test out all 5, see which one sticks, see if there's one that feels better than the other or makes you feel more present than one of the others. I just challenge you to try one. If you truly want to change your life, if you truly want to start feeling like you're present and like you're living your life and not that your life is just happening to you and passing you by, if you want to actually get to the end of your day and feel accomplished, to feel present, to feel alive, it can start with something as simple as one of these 5 tasks. And like I said, these tasks are simple, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're easy. Yes, it's going to take a little bit of effort to do one of these activities. But do you think you're worth it? Is it worth it to actually have a life that feels full? I would say taking 5 minutes out of your day to absolutely radically change how you're feeling on the inside is worthwhile. So that is all that I have for you today. I really, truly hope that you just take one of these 5 suggestions and give it a try today. And if you give it a try and it impacts you, or you feel more present, you feel more mindful, you feel more intentional, you get to the end of your day and you feel just better than you felt before, let me know in the comments below. I am releasing videos like this that are just simple tips to help you radically transform your life without making big, giant, radical changes. If that's something that sounds up your alley or like your vibe, I would love it if you followed along, gave this video a like, subscribed, and I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, I hope you have the best day.